helping you to weather good and bad economies without putting retirement on hold. This is the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo. Ken and his son Nick know that creating a comprehensive financial plan can align your hard-earned life savings with your retirement goals. Consider them your retirement architects. Now, the Tumolo Financial Podcast with Ken and Nick Tumolo.
All right, guys. So aside from working to give the folks that you're working with more confidence, more spending confidence in the years ahead, something else that you are constantly working at is the idea of tax strategy for retirement. And when we saw volatility earlier this year, we had a lot of people asking, okay, stocks are down. I always hear about buying into the market. It's called buying the dip. What do we need to do? However, there's an article on MarketWatch.com talking about how doing a Roth conversion when the market is down is also like buying the dip. So let's talk about how these two things are similar and, more importantly, opportunities that you're helping folks figure out in this current space.
Yeah, and so I'll separate them since you said it's two different ones. So let's go over the Roth conversion one first. So the Roth conversion thing, buying in the market downturn, it does make sense depending on the situation. I do want to stress that depends on if you're still working or you're retired, where you fall in the tax code. Yeah. So you really should talk to a financial professional about these things to kind of make sure it works for you. Yeah. Because I've had some people, and I'll give a sad story. Someone gave me a call I think it was about a year ago, and he told me he did a Roth conversion himself and didn't know like the ramifications of it, just decided to pick a number. And I was like, I asked him, why was it that number? It was $100,000. Yeah. And it was while he was still working too.
Oh, really? So and at this phase in life, he probably is making that income that you work so hard to get to. Yes.
Yep. So his federal tax code was high. He was 64 at the time too. And if you're 63, 64 years old, 2 years from now, when you start Medicare, your Medicare premiums do go up too if you do a Roth conversion, because Roth conversions look like income. So it really did mess up a good chunk of his plan, paid higher in taxes with this conversion, and he's going to have to pay higher in Medicare premiums next year too as well. So you really want to look at these things.
Speak quickly to the idea of the Medicare thing, because there's something where they look back 2 years. Is that how that? Okay. All right.
Yep. And that's why I said, because he's 64 right now. So he's thinking, oh, yeah, I don't have to worry about Medicare. Right. But because of that 2 year look back, when he gets to 66, he's going to get slammed on Medicare premiums now, too. And it pushed him up into, I think it was the third tier of the Medicare brackets. So that was a little over $100 a month extra per person. Okay. So looking at those things, you want to make sure that those income levels work, and if it makes sense to do that Roth conversion, don't just throw out a number and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do 100,000 just because my friend down the street Bob told me." Mm-hmm. You really want to look at those things. If I'm in the 12% tax bracket, how much can I squeeze in there to make it work for me? Give me that advantage for me, and possibly even future legacy planning too, because Roth conversions do help with that as well. The other thing I want to kind of go over too is that buying the dip, and this will kind of tie in the Roth conversion too. Buying the dip, you're never going to get the top or the bottom exactly correct. I'm going to just stress that. You can talk to Warren Buffett. You can listen to Jim Cramer. Mm-hmm. You can listen to all these types, and they'll never get the exact top or the exact bottom correctly. Yeah. You want some management in there so that, okay, if things are starting to go south, and I'll even give you a perfect example. During the tariffs, when the tariffs just started, and when President Trump enacted them on, I think it was 100 plus countries, we had a big downturn in the market. I think the S&P 500 was around 15% down once things kind of settled in before we had the upswing, and now we're up for the year. But during that time, one of our managers actually went out of some of the equity so that they didn't feel the full effect during that tariff thing. So you're never going to get, and that's why I'm saying buying the dip or selling at the high, you're never getting it exactly correct. But if there's some management, some active management on your account, it could end up saving you during those times. Because especially in retirement, you want to make sure that you're okay no matter what. Of course. And if that dip kept going and going and going and going, and it went 40 or 50% down like the last two recessions, then you might have to work an extra couple of years. You might have to say, oh, you know what? I can't go on that extra trip, or I'm not going to go buy that second house I wanted. And you really want to kind of make sure that you're going to be okay during those times. Mm-hmm. So if you have active management, yeah, they'll buy in at certain times and sell off at certain times to kind of try to catch the right momentum. But you really want to, I think, really stress when you get to retirement, having growth and income set in place instead of just growth, because you're living off of that income. You don't have that paycheck coming in. You're living off those retirement funds now. And I don't know if you want to kind of chime in on that.
So I'm going to add a few things. One, the whole Medicare thing came up, by the way. A lot of, I know some listeners have heard her on the radio, Alyssa, my daughter-in-law. She does do Medicare, and we added that in just for that big reason of trying to plan out income in retirement and not messing yourself up where you have to pay a whole bunch in extra Medicare premium. We've seen so many stories like that Nick talked about. We had someone come in, and this was actually recently in our Berlin office. And by the way, I know we haven't mentioned Berlin before. It's a newer office. But we also still have our East Lyme office too, our main office. But we added Berlin into the picture. And this person came in, by the way, I didn't even mention it. If someone needs anything at the Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup, our number 860-854-3434. I'm talking about offices and not even giving a phone number. But,
and also give the website. It's tfcheckup.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah. So you get carried away talking.
I know. There's lots to share.
Yeah. So we had someone come in, and their biggest thing was, you know what, we're working with an advisor already, and he keeps telling us that we're doing tax planning, and but it doesn't seem like we're doing it. And it's just because a lot of people talk about tax planning, but then they just don't do it. They just do the investments. And so I was like, okay, well, can you show me the plan that you have? And you know, just to try to help them out. I mean, and you know, if the advisor's doing it, I could have pointed it out and said, hey, yeah, they're doing it. It's right there. It's clear as day. You're okay. And sometimes people come in and see us, and we do give them that confidence that the person they're working with is okay. And they just, it's just how it goes. But they handed me a sheet of paper, and they said that was their plan. And on the sheet of paper, list every account, type of account, and then the balance, and they're like, this is our plan. This is what he gives us all the time, every year that we meet with him.
Right.
And so I start scratching my head.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, where are you drawing your money for retirement? Because then I started digging in a little bit, and they go, well, it all comes out of this account here, which was the IRA. And they were someone that had an IRA, which is fully taxable, and Roth accounts that aren't taxable, and after tax, which are taxed at a different capital gains rate, right? So everything was coming out of one place. And I go, okay, well, it looks like you're paying the maximum taxes that you can be paying now. It's the only way I could put it. And so they go, look, let's do a little something, and we're going to build out, we're going to show you what tax planning can do for you.
Okay.
And so when they came back for their second meeting, we showed them if they keep doing what they're doing that the advisor did for them, they had, by the time they were 90, they had like $300,000 left over. If they had done some tax planning, and they actually had two ways to go, which was plan on the draw side of it or do Roth conversions. And I won't get into all of that now, but we ran it. Matt in our office, one of our other advisors had built it out. And instead of having $300,000 at 90, they had like $390,000 at 90. But the biggest thing in this was that 390 was all untaxable when it passes on.
Got it.
Whereas before with the other advisor, that $300,000, a majority of it was still taxable when they pass on. So what they did was they were just making Uncle Sam one of their big beneficiaries. And so Nick and I talk about it all the time. If you do the tax planning, it also helps take care of the legacy planning later on. And one of the biggest goals is to make it so that you don't leave Uncle Sam a bunch of money. After all, we pay a bunch of property taxes here in Connecticut. We pay income tax. It's nothing we can hide. We pay a lot of taxes. We don't want to pay any more. We don't want to leave the taxes for the kids.
Yeah, we pay our fair share in taxes. If there's certain rules that we can change. I always tell people, everyone gets a kick out of this, but I tell them, even Bezos, Musk, whoever you want to say, those billionaires, they look for these tax code.
Of course they do.
Advantages too.
How do you think they have so much more money?
Yeah.
Of course they do. Yeah.
And it helps them a little bit more because there's a couple extra zeros. But yeah, if you can save 1,000 here, 1,000 there, you think about it. The money's staying in those accounts and they're growing a compound interest. If you keep it in those accounts 20, 30 plus years rather than paying a little extra in taxes now too. So, and it sometimes works the opposite way too, where if there's legacy planning involved, like my dad was just bringing up, maybe it does make sense to take a little extra of those IRAs because then money passes on. If it goes in a Roth, they pass on in a Roth, they don't pay taxes on it. And it can grow in there for another 10 years with the new beneficiary IRA rules for non-spousal beneficiaries. So looking at those things, making sure that the whole plan works in general, you want to look at that Tumolo retirement checkup. Complimentary. Our phone number is 860-854-3434. You can also check us on our website at tfcheckup.com. I'm going to give up one more story on this too, because I do have a client that is looking at legacy planning. Okay. And they've been talking about it with me for a while now. She's been working with me for 3-4 years. She's worried because she's in a higher tax bracket right now. She has a very, very good pension. Okay. So it makes it a little bit harder to do Roth conversions. Okay. But in a sense, I know both her kids are doing very well as well. Got it. As well. Got it. So there's some of that looking at, okay, if her kids are doing really well, she's in a higher tax bracket, is there still a benefit? And there was. She's not doing bigger Roth conversions like some other people, but we're doing partials. And the problem is when you're doing tax planning, you're not going to fix it in 1 year. Like for this client, she has, I think it was about $1.6 million in IRA tax deferred money. Yeah. And she's 68. So she has about 5 more years before hitting required minimum distribution age. So doing some of that planning ahead of time, other than we're looking at the legacy planning because we know she's not going to spend it all because she has a great pension and great Social Security, but passing on that money tax-free to her kids that are doing really well at their jobs and knowing that, okay, if they get all this money, they're going to get slammed in taxes. So it's always looking at that benefit. Does it help you now? Does it help the kids later? The other thing too is there going to be possibly a future tax hike in the near future? Right. My opinion is with the national debt keeps climbing and climbing and climbing, I think one of these presidents, I know we just had whatever he calls it, the big beautiful bill go through. Yeah. And taxes are roughly about the same. I know there's some tax cuts in there as well. I haven't read the full thing yet, but kind of looking at those things and seeing where there's benefits and pros and cons. But some of that tax thing, we want to make sure that they're going to be okay. Because I do think taxes are going to eventually go up, whether it's 5 years from now or 10 years from now. That national debt keeps climbing. And unfortunately, we're going to be the ones paying for it. Yeah. I'm going to say it one more time. You can build out that Tumolo retirement checkup complimentary if you give us a call. Our phone number is 860-854-3434, or you can check us on the website at tfcheckup.com.
Obviously, you guys are passionate about the idea of tax planning because you pointed out so many times over and over, there is so much that can be done in that space. But the big takeaway is I was listening to you guys telling your stories. One, tax planning, the devil is in the details, as you were pointing out, Nick, with that one gentleman who did the Roth by himself and then created all kinds of mess for himself. And also, tax planning is a long game. It's literally multi-generational, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it, but there's a lot you can get out of it. This is exactly what Ken and Nick are here to share with you, what you can get out of creating a customized plan for your retirement, one that includes a tax plan, tax strategies built within it. And they are ready to begin that conversation with and for you as well. That number you're dialing, 860-854-3434 to reach out to us. Do it right now. We've opened up 5 spots on the calendar for radio listeners today. And if you're one of the first 5 callers with $250,000 or more, want to offer you your own Tumolo Financial Retirement Checkup complimentary. So call right now to begin that conversation and put the time on the calendar. It's 860-854-3434. Again, this is a no fee, no obligation process, just a space for you to learn how you might be able to do better in the years ahead with your nest egg in your retirement, a plan that's customized to you and your goals. Be one of the first 5 callers right now. Again, it's 860-854-3434. 860-854-3434. Visit us online at tfcheckup.com or again, 860-854-3434. All right, guys, lots of good information as always today. Any final thoughts?
Know your numbers. Have a plan that includes tax strategies.
Yeah, and the biggest reason why I bring up a bunch of stories is that plan is really customized to you. Whether you're looking for tax planning, you're looking to go on 3-4 trips a year, or you're trying to just retire as soon as possible. Like for me and my wife, we want to spend time in Charleston. What's your goal? What's your plan? I know I'm only 31, so that Charleston might change in 30 years, but it's making that plan customized to you. Again, the website is tfcheckup.com.
Investment advice offered through Tumolo Wealth Management, a Connecticut-registered investment advisor. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here.